The new Hyundai Creta has received more than just a fresh coat of paint. Oh ho ho! Its exterior has been vastly overhauled, so has its interior, so has the tech, and this top-of-the-line N-Line now comes with a turbo, which is all well and great, but will it help the Creta find its footing amongst the very crowded subcompact crossover segment? Find out on this episode of Behind the Wheel. Now, we've covered the new Creta before on a walk around and even have a feature video on it. So if you'd like to find out what's new and all the ins and outs of this car, the links are most definitely down below. In fact, on that feature video, Jack and I had a misunderstanding about a Korean adventure. Yeah. But if you'd like a refresher, a good place to start would be its price. Let's begin there, where if you whip out the AutoDeal app, available on iOS and Android, and it's absolutely free, regardless whether it's raining or not, you'll know that the Creta starts at 1,134,000 Philippine pesos and tops out for this N-Line at 1,379,000 Philippine pesos. Might I also reiterate that the AutoDeal app can give you more than just prices. It can help connect you to dealers nationwide to help you find the best car at the best price. The exterior has been massively revamped. The front clip now has a sleeker parametric jewel grille, and above it is a new set of equally slick LED DRLs. The rear sports a new tail lamp spanning the width of the car and features an H pattern within, which resembles its bigger brother, the Santa Fe. The N-Line also gets a bunch of exclusive goodies on the outside, like this sharp bumper, 18-inch alloys with N branding, a two-tone paint job, a spoiler, twin exhausts, and red accents throughout the interior as well. Some quick numbers for you. Ground clearance is a healthy 190 millimeters, and the cargo space at the rear easily fits a few balikbayan boxes thanks to 433 liters of space and more at 1,401 liters when the seats are folded. Speaking of the rear seats, the space is actually quite decent. That's my legroom behind my own driving position. Knee room is actually pretty good, can still cross my legs, and headroom is quite decent actually. Now, the seats, although comfortable and you can slide in and out, egress and ingress should be quite easy because there's not a lot of bolstering. The lean is a little too much for my liking and I can't really adjust it. I'm a little too relaxed. I want to be a little bit more engaged, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, thigh support is pretty good. Now, the toys back here include two air vents directly in front of you, a small little cubby hole, and a Type-C charging port. You also have bottle holders on either door and a center armrest with two cup holders. Last but not least, it's got a snazzy little pattern here on the backrest. I like that. Now, the biggest change in the cockpit would be this panel right here, this huge panel that you have right here, which is this part obviously is your digital instrument cluster, and then you have your touchscreen infotainment system, which by the way has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which by the way are both wireless. We like that a lot. Directly below that, we love the fact that there are audio controls and air controls that you can get to immediately. We're always going to love that. The problem is, and I don't know if you can see it from this angle, is that the touchscreen itself and the piano blacks all around the audio controls and the air controls, very dusty. Regardless, they actually look good when they're clean though. Moving on down, you have a couple of charging points right here. No wireless charging, which I was kind of hoping that there would be, considering that this is top of the line. You have ventilated seats. Yes, ventilated seats. The trade-off here is that they're not power seats, but I would argue, and so would Jack, even in this pouring rain, that we would appreciate ventilated seats over power seats any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Move on down below, you've got your cup holders, your drive and traction. On your steering wheel, it's full leather. Paddles are always going to be good. And then you have your buttons for your cruise and your audio controls. The steering wheel is also telescopic, which will help you find your proper driving position quick, fast, and in a hurry. Also, the infotainment, I forgot to mention that it's actually quite intuitive and quite smooth. We really do enjoy this particular infotainment system. The question is, does the car drive as well as how smooth the infotainment system is? That was a lousy segue, but we're going to stick with it. But before we go out on a drive, do subscribe to our channel because we create all these videos so that Jack and I can afford chinelas.
Our shoes are wet.
Our shoes are soaked, dude, to a point that my toes are starting to stick together.
No,
And then the black stuff in the middle.
Stop. Ew.
Oh. Once you set off, you will immediately feel the pull of the new powertrain, which is a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged gasoline engine that produces 158 horses and 253 newton meters of torque, mated to a 7-speed DCT. The torque is nice and healthy and gets you up to speed quick enough, though it might be a bit jumpy depending on how you input your throttle. It does take some getting used to, but once you do, then it all works out pretty fine. Fuel efficiency is what you would expect from a motor of this size and a turbocharged at that. Inside the city, we were doing about 9 to 10 kilometers per liter. Out on the highway, a bit better at 16 and a half. Now, mind you, this wasn't hypermiling or anything at all. This was just driving properly, stop and go, slowing down a little bit, and this was from the city all the way to Clark. And on that trip to Clark, we found that the Hyundai Smart Sense works sensibly. The adaptive cruise works well as I'm using it right now. I've set it at 78 kilometers per hour, but I'm only doing about 60, 65 because there's a truck in front of me. The other functions of the Smart Sense are also great too, but if it sort of starts to gnaw on you a little bit and you want a little bit more freedom, then you also have the freedom to adjust it in the infotainment system. There's also definitely fun to be had inside the Creta. You've got your paddles, which is always nice to play around with. And the steering feel is actually good. There's a lot of communication from the road to the steering wheel. And it's not, in comparison to other crossovers, where sometimes it can be a little too light. So in that case, it's better here in the Creta. Now, in terms of ride, the body roll is pretty minimal in terms of crossover standards. The suspension is well sorted for like spirited driving. However, when you're driving around rougher patches of roads, like let's say for example EDSA, there is a little bit of rattling that happens inside the car because it's a little bit on the stiff side there. In terms of NVH, well, it's predominantly quiet, but the tire noise does seem to creep in a little bit, and there's a little wind noise that seems to come from the back. It stems from, well, the spoiler actually. It's an N-Line spoiler. So in that case, as Jack puts it, tiis guwapo na lang. Or no, sorry, it's tiis pogi, right?
It's the same.
It's the same. The overall driving dynamics of the Creta is really one of its strong points. It's fun, it's easy, and it's comfortable to drive. Now, regardless of what it is that I tell you, I can go on like a broken record, you're never really going to know unless you try it out yourself, which you can if you download the AutoDeal app and book yourself a test drive quick, fast, and in a hurry. All the updates to the new Creta really do bring it up to speed with the competition. I mean, it's good looking inside and out, it's faster, it's got all the tech that you really want thanks to the Hyundai Smart Sense. It was already a good car to begin with, but all these updates really just make it a good-looking, well-rounded crossover. The only beef that I have is that, well, even in the top-of-the-line N-Line, there is no HEV variant, which is kind of a miss, I think. But the good thing is that Hyundai recently released the Kona HEV, which we hope to get on behind the wheel real soon.